my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 2 of this unboxing. I don't know what it's called, to tell the truth, but we're gonna get into it. It's actually gonna be some more cool books, big collection here. We'll get right into it, see what's inside. We'll do this first group. I think the way that they send them is always like they do their best to try to protect them, which is nice. So, okay, so this is a bunch of different things. Oh, I'm somewhat worried about this. Okay, a little bit. One book was sent raw, so there was tape next to it, and it was really close to getting attacked by tape. So I'm gonna have to bag and board this one afterwards. But this is an interesting title. This is Fritzy Ritz and Fritzy, or Fritzy Ritzy, which is actually United Comics number 18. And this is one of those golden age books or titles that's very underrated, extremely underrated. Now this one is where actually Snoopy makes his first appearance. In issue number 21 of United Comics is the first appearance of Snoopy. It's sort of a tied first appearance with Tip Top Comics, but this is where Snoopy. So later issues of this series had a lot of Snoopy or Peanuts appearances. These early issues and even later issues had a lot of good girl art. You can see what I'm talking about there. This is, it's kind of a cute cover. I'm exercising. The doctor said I said to touch my toes 10 times daily. So he's touching his toes. He's just sitting there touching his toes because that's good exercise. So she's kind of looking at him like, you're crazy. Okay. But if you open these books up, they actually feature a lot of, like, this was meant for kids, and that's the funny part. But a lot of, like, good girl art inside. Like, you got, like, her in lingerie and stuff. It's just, like, the weirdest thing. Not what you would have expected for the book that was where Peanuts made his first appearance. As I said, lots of like them getting changed. There's Mammy, just different sort of like an anthology of different comic series, mostly Fritzy Ritz, but we got Abby and Slots. Lots of fun stuff though inside, but a lot of like girls getting in lingerie, and it's just like, it's a lot of good girl art inside. It's really interesting. So this is one that I thought was a really good deal. I think it was like $20. It's not an expensive book. Very cool. And it's an early Ernie Bushmiller cover. He did a lot of really great covers for the title. Okay, this next book is one that's totally underrated. This is one of those books that is what I would say underrated key. And you can even say, like, I actually didn't pay the price which is on this book. It says $5. And this one, I actually picked up a couple copies of this. I have another one that's in here somewhere because I think it's just such an underrated key. This is Betty Boop in 3D. Now, I did a lot of research, and it turns out that this is the first comic book appearance of Betty Boop. Now, she did appear in Tijuana Bibles. She appeared in Big Little books, but she didn't ever appear in comics, strangely. And part of it was there was like a lot of disputes about the rights, who owned the rights to Betty Boop and how she should appear in comics. So there was just like, it just never got resolved. And it wasn't until this book, which is in 1986, that she made her first appearance, even though she was created in the 20s. So just a really interesting first appearance. That's very underrated. Like, it's like one of those ones where you can pick this up. I paid less than $5 for a key character first appearance. It seems awfully cheap. This one is one you want to get with the 3D glasses. I believe this one includes the 3D glasses. So definitely look for that. They were printed fairly, I think it's a fairly common book. You should be able to find it on eBay for cheap. You know, probably there was like publishing of about 20,000, I would say. But it is a modern book, so it's a little easier to find. So just one to look for. Really great. Betty Boop's first appearance in comics. Okay, so the next one is, book that I saw this. I think my friend Steven showed me this one. I was like, oh, that's a really great cover. I think I already had this one. I should have gotten this directly from my friend that did the comic book with me, because he's the publisher for it. But I ended up just seeing it on eBay and I picked it up. So this is Sherry by Dan Yeagle. And he actually did some of the artwork for my comic book. So I thought this was such a great one. I should pick it up. So this is, from earlier this year. This is actually just came out in January of this year. So yeah, so just, oh, sorry, it's, I'm mistaken. I thought that was a date. But this is a 1 of 25. So there's only 25 of these produced. So just a really cute cover. 1 of 25, actually. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to check that. Okay, so this next one. So a little bit of modern, a little bit of golden age. Let's see what else. Oh, okay, more. In my previous video, I showed some infinity covers, and there's going to be some more infinity covers. I collect infinity covers, so I have a pretty good collection of infinity covers now. But this is one that I didn't have. Let me see if I can get it out. This one, they put too much of this really bad tape on it. Yeah, be really careful. I hate when they use that kind of tape. Okay. This is Super Rabbit. And this is Super Rabbit number 9. And it's a really cool infinity cover where he's dumping all the characters out of the comic. But it's infinity cover, so it's like, you can see it's him again dumping the characters out of the comic, and then again, so forth. How many times does it do the infinity? It looks like really only maybe 2-3 times. It's not a very successful infinity cover. Sometimes I've seen it go up to like 7, where you can really see all the infinities. But it's still a really cool one. Super Rabbit number 9. I just really like these. This is from 1946. I guess it's Timely Marvel. And yeah, just really hard book to find, actually. Very cool one. Okay, so that's that. And then we got another really cool book. Oh my goodness, this one's so I like maybe because I started collecting like very like on my own in the 90s. Like that's when I really was like hitting my stride in terms of going all out on collecting comics. And in the 90s, it was all about the gimmicks. They had like, you know, the lenticulars and their chromes and their holograms and, you know, all the different gimmicks that you can think of, die cut, you know. And one of the gimmicks that is more of a modern gimmick, I didn't really see this in the 90s actually, but a modern gimmick that I kind of like is the negative space gimmick. One sec here, I can get this out. Okay, wow, really hard to get this out. Okay, so that was a little bit challenging. But this is the very first negative space gimmick cover. And it was in little dot number 11. So just a really cool negative space variant. Or not variant, but comic cover. And this is the very first time that negative space was used in a comic book. Now, I actually did find another series, which was kind of more pulpy or magazine-y, that does have negative space as well. But this was the first comic book with negative space being used. So little dot number 11. Really cool cover, actually. And nice grade. Very solid looking book. So yeah, so little dot number 11. Now this is a pricey book, believe it or not, because it is kind of a major key for that. I've seen this go for anywhere from $200 to $300. I paid around 100 and I think it was 100 and something, 170, I think, something like that. It was pretty expensive, but it is a fairly high grade copy. So yeah, just a really cool book. I was quite excited to get that one because I do like my negative space variants and my gimmicky covers. Okay, so the next book is more Betty Boop. Now, I mentioned that that other one was her first comic book appearance. Now, there were earlier books that had Betty Boop in it. And one of them was Betty Boop. See how this is like almost, if you've ever seen those early Garfield books, kind of that same style, where it's kind of like these like rectangular shaped books that are more, I don't know, I'm not sure how to say it. But yeah, so this one had like all the little Betty Boop strips inside, you can see. So kind of fun stuff. Oh, she's in the bath there. It's just kind of fun stuff. Betty Boop. So, and this is from Max Fleischer. So just early, this is from the 70s. And this is an early comic book-ish appearance of Betty Boop. Again, she doesn't appear in that many books because of the copyright issues with her. Very odd how such a major popular character just doesn't have very many appearances in comics. Okay, so this next one, let's see, let me get this out. Put that on the floor. So it's this, whatever this is. Let's see what it is. It has a bit of tape on it, so just gotta get that out. Okay, this is some cool ones. This vendor actually had some really cool stuff, and he sort of made an offer to me to, like, I was only just gonna get one book from him, but he made an offer that I couldn't refuse. So I'll show you what I mean by that. As I was mentioning, I was collecting a lot of Canadian comics, comic publisher books, one being Superior, and this is a comic from Superior that has like sort of pre-code horror title. This is Mysteries Weird and Strange. I forgot what issue number it is, number 4, but it's got a really great Good Girl art cover. And these were pretty interesting. Like, I've read a few of these, not this issue in particular, but I've read a few of these online. And they're not bad stories. They're, you know, typical pre-code horror stories, you know. But just fun stuff. A lot of the time, Superior would actually get some pretty great artists working on their books. Like Keeman and Wally Wood or something, you know, those kind of level artists. This one's got a really great cover. Just the fun stuff. It's got the floating eyes, the skeleton in a wheelchair of all things. You know, just in the typical woman, like, in shock. Really fun stuff. So, The Ghost in the Gallows, Isle of the Mad Revenge. Oh, Revenjo or Revenge. Okay, Revenge. Eerie Bargain, Circle of Death. So very fun stuff. Okay, so that's the first one. And he actually thought I was somebody else because I actually put a best offer on that book, and as a result got it fairly inexpensively. And what happened was he thought I was some other guy that put an offer on his books. So he said, "Oh, did you want that other book that you're putting an offer on? And I'll give it to you at this price," which was way below what it was listed at. So I was like, sure. I wasn't the guy you were talking to, but sure, because it is a cool book. This is Exciting Comics number 45. And it's just a cool robot cover, Alex Schomburg cover. You don't see many of these Alex Schomburg robot covers. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. You got the Black Terror, and he's punching this really cool 50s or 40s style robot. This is probably 40s actually. So yeah, just a really cool book. Exciting Comics number 45. Just a really great Alex Schomburg cover. If you like robots, this is definitely a cool one. And the robot, has got a knife too. That's really interesting. And a gun. It's like, why does the robot have a knife and a gun? Who knows? But it does. Just a really cool one. And you got the guy in the background. It looks like he's maybe controlling the robot. I don't know. See, he's got like the little box that he's using to maybe control the robot. And then you got the Black Terror's sidekick up here. Just like so much going on. So typical of Alex Schomburg, where you got all these little elements that you have to sort of look for. Lots of stuff happening. Okay, so that's this is a really great one. Alex Schomburg. I love his art. Okay, next one. Okay, let's see if I can get this one out easily. Okay. This next one is, I gotta censor it a little bit. And let me see if I can get, there's one other underneath it. Here. Oh, the one that's below it is giving me difficulty. One second. They use really strong tape on it. One second. I'm struggling here. One second. There we go. They use the most strong tape. Okay. Let's get rid of that because it was really bothering me. But this next one I have to censor a little bit, but I have to censor. This is a really awkward one to censor. Okay, let's see if I can censor this one. But it does have a bit of nudity, but I thought it was such a crazy cover. It's called Screw Comics. It's like, but it's just a cool Hitler cover where you got this decapitated Hitler and you got this crazy nude girl. You got this old Hitler as well. I don't know what's going on there. I just thought it was such a cool cover. It is from Eros Comics, which is sort of an adult title. And it's Party Time. What does it say? Al Goldstein presents Screw Comics. I just thought it was a cool Hitler cover. Saw it, it was cheap. I thought, why not? So yeah, just a really cool decapitated Hitler cover. Just a really odd one. Okay, and the one that was underneath it, that was sort of giving me a little bit of trouble. Let's see if I can get it out. It has another layer of packaging. Oh, okay. This is a kind of a key that I missed out on. I was like so annoyed that I missed out on this key. And this is not even the valuable version of it. But this is Wolverine number 36. And this is the first appearance of Helverine. Now, this is the B cover or the variant cover to Helverine's first appearance. which goes for a little bit cheaper. It's a cheaper book, but I just wanted to get the first appearance of Helverine. I think Helverine turns out that he's just, is it Wolverine's son or something like that, or like one of these other characters that was used earlier. But, you know, this is the first appearance of Helverine. It was a major book for this year. So, yeah, first appearance of Helverine. I thought it was kind of a cool mix of Ghost Rider plus Wolverine. I thought it was a cool little mix. Okay. Now we got still a lot more to go. Okay. Okay, so next is what's inside here. Let's see if I can get this out. Oh my goodness. Wow, I actually prepared these books. Believe it or not, I actually unpackaged a lot before recording this video, so I wouldn't spend too much time trying to get them out of their packaging. But they even had more packaging beyond what I thought. Okay, so this next one is a really cool book. I'm not going to unbox it too much more. I'll do it later. But it is a really cool one. This is Shock Suspense Stories, number... I forget what number it is. I have to unbox it a little bit more. Number 12. And this is just a really classic cover. I believe it's a Johnny Craig cover. Again, oh no, Al Felstein. I'm sorry, Al Felstein. I should have recognized this artwork. So Al Felstein cover. And it's just a classic cover because it's the drug cover. And, you know, that was one of the things that really got hit hard in with the comic code, that they really didn't like the use of drugs in comic books, even if it's being depicted in a negative light. I mean, this is obviously, this guy's a drug addict. You see all the drug paraphernalia next to him. But this is considered to be very taboo after the Golden Age ended and the Comic Code Authority came into play. So this book, it usually goes for a fair amount of money. It's quite a hard one to get. I managed to find sort of a beat up copy for a reasonable price. I think it was like $100 or something like that. Just a cool classic cover, and one of those ones that is a bit considered taboo because of the fact that it deals with drugs. Okay, so the next thing is another little series of comics that I picked up. Let me see if I can pull it out. One sec here. Okay, this was just 3 comics. Actually, I picked these up from Hip Comics. If you're not familiar with Hip Comics, I'm doing an interview with them. I think it's going to air soon, or if it hasn't aired already at the time of recording, at the time of viewing this video. But this one is from Hip Comics. I bought these from Hip Comics. And they were the only place that I could find it. I was looking everywhere to find these comics. I tried my favorite My Comic Shop. I tried eBay. I tried Heritage Auctions. I tried everywhere to try to find these books. And the only place that had them was Hip Comics. So definitely a good resource for finding books that are a little bit more obscure. What happened was there's a title that I like, which is Cherry Pop-Tart. It was a series from the 80s that actually went all the way until now. That was kind of like a parody of Archie comics that featured a bit more risque versions of the Archie characters. And they brought it back with Peach Momoko did the first cover for Cherry Pop-Tart. But then they had a new version. This is number 2. I actually have number 1. I just didn't have number 2. So this is Cherry Pop-Tart number 2. And it's signed by the creator, Larry Wells. He was another one of the artists that worked on my comic, actually, believe it or not. So He did the Bullet Girl for my comic. So Larry Wells, just a great artist. That's the trade dress version, and then I also got the variant with with the virgin variant. Whether or not she's a virgin, debatable. But so yeah, so this is the virgin variant. So yeah, very cool books. So yeah, so I just wanted to have the set. So there's 2 books in the series. And then the other one that I picked up was the last of the regular series of Cherry Pop-Tart, which was Cherry Pop-Tart number 23, which I didn't have. So this is the very last of Cherry Pop-Tart, but there was a dispute between Cherry Pop-Tart and Kellogg's. Kellogg's didn't like them using the Pop-Tart because, so they had to rename the book Cherry. So this is why it's called Cherry. But just a really cool series. If you like Archie and you like adult stuff, you'll like a Cherry Pop-Tart. So definitely not meant for kids, but very fun comic series. So this one is Cherry Apocalypse. This actually came out very recently, maybe only a few years back. So very cool book. Yeah, adults only. Okay. Yeah, so put those all together. And 1 sec here. Gotta make sure got everything. Okay. Always worried about throwing away comics. Now we got 2 more things to show. This is a bit of a longer video. Actually, I'll leave that for next video. I'll leave that special one. So the last thing in this unboxing is a mystery box. I got a mystery box, Comic Tom mystery box. I'm going to show you what's inside. This will wrap up this video. It's actually a bit thicker than usual, so hopefully something cool. With the Comic Tom mystery boxes, you get the ones that they always talk about on their channel. They always talk about certain books on their channel, and they go on about how great they are and how you have to get them. And then they throw in some extra stuff. And sometimes, if you're really lucky, which I'm never lucky, they throw in some big book mixed into your Comic Tom unboxing mystery box. The first thing that they always do, they always seem to throw in these little prints. So this is a print of Spider-Man. I'm not sure who did it. It's one of 999. I think it's Johnny something. What's his name? I forget the guy's name, but I know it. It's at the tip of my head, but I can't think of it. Then they threw in, what else? Is it John Jurgic? I think it's the Jurgic, maybe. I think that's the name of it. Then they put in this one, which actually is the big book. This one was selling for a lot of money because of the recent Deadpool Wolverine movie. So this is their variant that they did. This is a cover by Ivan Tao. Very cool Wolverine and Deadpool cover, actually. So, and that's what variant is this? This is the limited variant of 2,500 copies. Not so limited, but but definitely a cool one. And then we got the last one, which is what is this? Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. And this is limited to 3,000 copies. Actually, this is the one I wanted. So there's actually a more rare version that they had where you don't get to see Spider-Man's face. But I actually like this one better where you get to see Spider-Man on it as well. So I got the right one at least on this one, even though it's not as rare. But this is by Greg Horn, another great artist. Actually, I really like Greg Horn's artwork. So just a really cool set of books. So those are the ones that you sort of expect to get. But then they'll throw in some mystery box elements where you get 2 books that are not, you have no idea what they'll be. Usually they're dollar bin books, and these are dollar bin books, so we'll get into them. There's Spirits of Vengeance, number 8. Very dollar bin book, but it is a cool Ghost Rider cover. And then we got X-Force number 7, another dollar bin book. But it's a great, great Rob Liefeld cover. Very 90s. These were massively printed, probably in the millions. But yeah, great Cable and is that Jubilee? I don't know if that's Jubilee. It looks like Jubilee a bit. But yeah, so great Rob Liefeld comic art. So X-Force number 7. And that's it for this unboxing. So we went from great golden age to some adult stuff to Precode horror, and we finish off with a mystery box. So what better unboxing can you get than that? So stay tuned for part 3. There's going to be some pretty cool stuff in that. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.